2021 it's been some tough years here. But you know what? We are so proud of all you guys and how hard you've worked to persevere through all of this. You've had to wear a mask, you've had to social distance, and how many days have you had to see that little note on the announcements that says, wash your hands? So with no doubt, this will be a memorable year as you talk to your kids someday, right? When you have children, you can say, I survived the COVID-19 pandemic. So just think, the same eye rolls that you give your parents for those back in my day, you too will get the same eye rolls.
You know, because of your perseverance, the junior class officers, along with Mrs. Spada and I, have worked extremely hard to bring you the 2021 prom. I can't explain how excited we are to bring you this memorable evening. Along with prom, Mrs. Spada and I have a secret that we've been keeping. And let me tell you, it is hard, because I'm horrible at keeping secrets. And I said, but I am going to throw Mr. Simpson, Mrs. Gehrig, and Mrs. Rash under the bus, because they also know. Anyway, so, oh yeah, and the junior class officers don't even know this.
Yeah,
so,
they don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody
knows.
Nope, it's been a very
secret.
tight circle. So,
it's been a secret for how long? Like maybe a month.
It's been
like a month.
It's been over
like
a month.
Okay,
almost 6 weeks.
All right.
So stay tuned for the whole video, because you won't want to miss this announcement. This year's going to be a little different. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like.
Hey everyone. Hey, first of all, I just wanted to take this time real quick to say, if you have any questions about prom or post-prom, or how Grand March is going to work, so feel free to email me any questions. You can also post them in the Facebook group for each of the classes, and I'll respond to those in that setting as well. So first of all, prom, as you know, will be Friday, May 7th. It is from 9 p.m. till midnight. The good news is there's no school that day. So ladies, you can make your hair appointments and make sure to get ready for that day. On Sunday, May 9th, will be our post-prom trip. And that will be to Six Flags St. Louis in Eureka, Missouri. We'll have a little bit more about that in the video a little later, but we will be departing DUCS at about 6 a.m. and then we'll return probably somewhere between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. Just so everybody is aware, money and registration is due by Friday, April the 9th. That will guarantee you a spot for post-prom. If you turn in anything after April the 9th, we will not be able to give you a spot on the post-prom trip. We'll still allow you to come to prom, but we won't be able to get you any post-prom tickets. Those tickets have to be ordered at least 2 weeks before our trip on May 9th. So that's the reason for the deadline. But money is due by April the 9th. So this year, we know that things have been a little more challenging with COVID. The question came up, can midterm graduates attend the 2020 prom? Historically, that answer is no, but the board did approve on February the 8th, allowing midterm graduates of the class of 2021 gave them permission to attend the prom this year. As you may or may not be aware, the class of 2022 is kind of a historic class because they're the first class that has gotten it approved to have the prom moved off of site. And so this year, graduation will be at Acorn Ridge Reception Barn. And the really nice thing about that is it's, like I said, it's a very nice facility. It won't be set up exactly like this, but it'll be set up very similar. But it also offers some outdoor facilities, which was one of the recommendations from the state health department. So there are a few areas that we will be able to utilize outside. And so, as you know, it is right down County Road 600, and so it is located right here. So just some really quick, we do have some COVID guidelines. All of these COVID guidelines are established on where we are now. The great thing is that Sullivan County has been blue, but we want to make sure and maintain that trend. And so we are going to observe some of the COVID guidelines. Some of these have been established by Governor Holcomb as executive order. It's also been established by the state health department, and so these are not just school rules. These are established by the state government. So face coverings will be required during the event. If you're able to maintain 6 feet and you're outside, then that allows for some opportunity where you may be able to remove them. We will have check-in procedures where we will do temperature checks, and then you'll also have a check-in procedure that you'll have with your cell phone device. We'll also have an iPad available, and it does a couple things. It'll date and timestamp it, so we'll know when you arrive at the prom, and then you'll also be able to check, do you have any of the symptoms of COVID? And then checkout procedures will look very similar. I mean, it'll just be a checkout. You'll enter your name, your guest name, check out. There will not be any in and out privileges. So once you check out that you're leaving the prom, you have to leave, and there won't be any. You won't be allowed to return to the prom. So, and again, like I said, we will have temperature checks, much like we have at school on that day. So we will have hand sanitizing stations. One of the mitigation plans is frequent hand washing, as well as hand sanitizer. So we will have hand sanitizer available, as well as hand washing stations set up both at the entrance and at the food line. Food service, we're discouraging people from actually doing the self-serve food. We will have some finger foods available there and cupcakes, as well as drinks. And so we're going to have chaperones will assist with serving that food. Another thing is we will have a seating chart of this. It'll be really nice. Each table will have a place card as well as a number card at the on the table, so you'll know what table you're at, and then all 6 seats will be assigned accordingly. So you'll have a reserved spot at the table. So as far as post-prom is concerned, so like I said, we will be going to Six Flags St. Louis in Eureka, Missouri on Sunday, May 9th. This will give you an extra day to rest. We'll be departing DUCS at about 6 a.m. We'll have a pit stop. It's a Pilot/McDonald's in Effingham, Illinois. That'll allow you to get some breakfast if you choose to get breakfast. It'll allow you to get a drink, use the restroom, and then we'll be back on the road. One thing to note that St. Louis is in Central Daylight Time, so they're an hour behind us. So I believe the park is actually open from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. that day. So the price, if the price is all included in your prom ticket price. So your ticket will actually include admission into the park. It'll also include lunch, snack, and dinner, as well as all-day drink. So the only money you'll need is any souvenirs or any games that you want to play, and any food that you need on the travel. So such as stopping at Effingham. And one thing, this is mainly for parents, and I am opening up this to senior parents. So if you would like to chaperone the actual prom, we're looking at approximately 10 chaperones. I know a few of you have already indicated that that you'd like to chaperone the prom. So if you could drop me an email, or you can send me a message on Facebook. But if you'd like to chaperone the prom, we will need help, especially with check-in, the food service line, Grand March, and then just general supervision, particularly outside. And then post-prom, we'll know more how many we'll need, because we will need about 1 for every 15 students.
Man, Mrs. Spada, I don't know if I can hold this in anymore. This secret has been killing me for the last 6 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, I've been about to bust and just about let it out.
Yeah, I know, because that's what you do. You let it out. Because you know what? Every time you've planned something for this prom, you say, I'm going to tell you this, but you have to keep it a secret. And I keep it a secret, and then you let it out.
It's been so exciting because I know they've got a year and they didn't even get one last year. So I have to say, this all started with an email from Mrs. Spadden. She says, but what if we're blue?
Yeah, blue. Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I've looked at COVID
Guess
numbers.
What? Yep.
I've looked at
We're
COVID
blue.
numbers, and I thought she was crazy.
No, we're blue. How
So-
long have we been blue?
5 weeks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
5 weeks. Well,
Yep.
since we recorded this, which was before spring break, so we might have another weekend. That's blue. So, anyway, I don't know if we can hold this in any longer.
I can, but you can't.
Okay,
Okay.
All right.
We'll just be clear.
All
I
right.
can. He can't.
I can't. So I'm just going to
Yeah.
tell you. So we've decided that Grand March will be in the new gym. And parents, you will be able to attend. So stay tuned. We'll let you know what that's going to look like this year.
Hey, as everybody had just heard, we are extremely excited that we, due to the COVID numbers decreasing and the Sullivan County being blue for several weeks, we are excited that we have decided to go ahead and move Grand March to the new gym and to actually have it at the school. So Grand March, there's a little bit of change from our initial plan with Grand March. And so Grand March will be on Friday, May the 7th. From 8 p.m. until our intentions are it should last about 45 minutes, depending on how many student or attendees we have that participate in Grand March. But like I said, it will be at 8 p.m. Doors will open at 7:30 p.m. Grand March will be a little bit different this year, just with COVID numbers. And when Sullivan County is under blue for athletic events, we were allowed 300 attendees. So one of the first things that we have to monitor is we will have limited capacity during the event. And so each attendee will receive 4 tickets. And to ensure that everyone can participate, there'll be 3 groups and on the next slide, you'll see what those groups will look like, but there'll be 3 groups and students will be, or attendees will be assigned to a group based on when they registered for prom. So the earlier you register, the earlier you're going to be in the Grand March. So the later you register may bump you into a group B or into a group C, as you'll see on the other one. And again, just like for prom, everything is based on where Sullivan County is at the time of this video. And so, and since currently Indiana is still under a face covering mandate, and it's been a recommendation from the state health department. So face coverings will be required during the Grand March. So basically the way Grand March will work is attendees in their dates will have a staging area. They'll actually go down the back hallway, and then they'll loop around between the 5th and 6th grade hallway and down the elementary as we need. They'll be put in order based on how they're going to be coming out of the, or how they're coming out into the gymnasium. So that time will be from 7:30 until 8 p.m. And so you'll need to see your ticket group, make sure you know your ticket group, and when you need to be there in order to go through the Grand March. So Group A will be just the first group that comes through. And the students that come through. So Group A, if your ticket says A on it, you'll be actually permitted to go into the new gym when the doors open at 7:30 p.m. Grand March for Group A, we're anticipating about 17 couples per group, about 34 students each. And so that should be 8 to 8:10. And then once that group is finished, everyone will depart the gym, and we have a diagram that you can see in a little bit, but everybody will depart the gym. Group B will actually be waiting in the cafeteria, and then as Group B finishes, and Group A departs, we'll have about a 10-minute transition. Group B will walk in, find a seat, we'll do Group B Grand March, and then just like Group A will transition out. Group C comes into the into the gymnasium, and we'll finish off Grand March with Group C. So this is what Grand March is actually going to look like. It's very similar to how it's been set up in years past. So the attendees will enter on the northeast side of the gymnasium through that exit. That's a backside to the cafeteria, and also lead them down to the gymnasium. They will actually follow along the red path, and when they arrive to the center of the gym, then we will announce their names just like we historically have. It will be placed Facebook Live, and then once they are finished and their name has been announced, they'll continue marching. We will have seats available here for the attendees in that group. Once Group A is finished, then they will depart. The attendees will depart out of Group A, out of the southwest entrance or exit, and as well as all spectator seating. Parents, grandparents, anybody that's taken the 4 tickets will be then exit out of that southwest entrance. And then everybody will enter through the northeast entrance, whether you're coming for Group A, you're coming directly into the gymnasium, or you're coming from the cafeteria and entering. And once everybody is seated for Group B, we'll continue the Grand March at that point. Like I said, it will be, for anybody that doesn't have a ticket, it will be broadcast on Facebook Live. So that like I said, that will happen. Now, one different thing with coronation this year, coronation will look just a little bit different. So the way coronation is going to work this year is students will march out according to the map that you saw in the path. Once they march out, then if the student is a member of the prom royal court, for example, they've been elected the prom queen, then we're going to immediately announce that winner. That attendee, as well as their guest and any spectators that are with that the winner, will be permitted to go ahead and stay through the entire Grand March. That way we can get pictures with the entire court at the end of the Grand March. So once everybody is finished with the Grand March, we encourage them to go ahead and head out to Acorn Ridge for the prom that will officially start at 9 o'clock. So